for the American flag. There's a little bitty American flag up there. You might be able to see it. We're just getting out for the day. Retouch on, whatever the hell that means. We're just getting out for the day. It's, what is it, 4:30? I don't know. 4. It's about 4 o'clock. And we're letting out an hour early today for some reason. And they're right in the middle of Officer Lizzardo's testimony, which was very interesting. Very interesting indeed, how he's code switching. You can see him on the video screaming at Gonzalez to put his hands up, don't reach into the car. He shoots Gonzalez 10 times. But he's like in here right now. He's in here right now. Acting passive, talking really quiet. You can barely hear him. And that's an example of the code switching that I've seen. Here's the lawyers for the plaintiff over here coming out. I'm waiting for, there he is. There's Officer Gutierrez right there. There he goes. He's running away. Okay, whatever that's about. But yeah. There he goes. There goes Officer Gutierrez. There he goes. Walking free in society after murdering somebody because the DA refused to hold him accountable. Oh my goodness. Where is he going? Is he going to go take a bus? I don't know. But like someone should keep an eye on him. They'll probably get mad at me if I keep an eye on him as a member of the press. But someone should keep an eye on him. He's waddling down the way. He's been to the gym, been working out. God only knows what he gets jacked on. But yeah, so it was a long and arduous trial so far. We're only on day 3 and we got a 2-week trial. So it was very arduous, and I'm not going to say it was boring, but maybe I'm tired, and it does drone on and on sometimes. And I mean, it's super important, but it's also can be tiring. I don't want to call it boring. I want to call it boring, but it's definitely tiring. Well, there goes Gutierrez walking down the road, a free man, after shooting and swatting a man of color. The interesting thing about Officer Luis Lizzardo, was just testifying after Gutierrez got off the stand. He's the next, and he'll probably be the person in the morning, at 8:30 in the morning when the court resumes. And it's so interesting that he said he joined the police force to protect the community and help people. And he'd been wanting to be a police officer since he was a little kid. That's what Officer Lizzardo said. Serrato, Luis, Luis. And he said that he wanted to help the community, and especially as a person of color, he wanted to help the community. But then he admitted that, hey, Gonzalez was a person of color. Gonzalez was a Mexican American, and he wasn't able to help him. He ended up killing him. So it's very interesting to see how, diversity is just crowd control, or unity is crowd control. Diversity is just it's a waste. It's not going to do anything. The diversity is an illusion. Diversity is an illusion. That's what it is. You're not going to stay diverse. Diversity is not going to help you. Not at all. Oh, shit. They still got this closed. This side's closed, I think. Security services here. What we got? Say hi. Can't read it. Hello. From where? What did they say earlier? WSG? Anybody ever figure out what that was? Anyhow, so we're just walking down the road here. Gonna conduct this street interview of myself Some of my thoughts for today is the code switching is important, the psychology of police is important, the murder by the numbers. Like if the police and the city legal and whoever's up in the administration, if they create a set of rules that allows for police to like say that they feared for their life and kill people, all that kind of stuff, it's amazing to me how far that stuff can go into like being murdered by the numbers. You just make writing rules that puts people, it makes them not peace officers, it makes them not protect and serve the public, it makes them use us as target practice for their sick cosplay game. Just because you put on a killer clown suit and we give you a badge and gun does not give you the right to kill people, does not give you the right to lie about guns and lie about where guns are and to SWAT people while you're off duty from the gym. Like, it did give them the rights, but it shouldn't. It doesn't really give them the rights, but they claim it does because they follow the policy and the training. And the policy and the training tell them to always fear for their life if they don't know what's going on, to say there's a gun if they shoot, even if there's no gun. I'm still on the fence about this gun shit. Like, where's this gun come from? It was in impound for 10 days. Where's this gun coming from? And Officer Serrato, oh, he's got a history. These bad cops, they have a history. They say they've never been involved in a shooting or whatever. That's not even true. Christopher Taylor, we know, shot 2 people that we know of. He shot Mike Ramos and Dr. No Justice, No Peace. He shot Dr. Oh, the car coming. That thing talks to you. Can't even hear it. He also shot Dr. Marquita Silva, who is a PhD doctor in neuroscience, neurology, something like that. So, like, they shot him. The police pretended that he was armed. They pretended he had a gun. They pretended that he was breaking into cars, and they pretended he was a crazy homeless person, and they lied. So it's always a cover-up. It's always a cover-up. That's part of the afterwork of the murder by numbers. This whole court case is a cover-up. The city should just settle for whatever the mom needs to be made whole, whatever the dad needs to be made whole. They should just settle like they did with the girlfriend for $500,000 or $550,000, I forget. Like, we need to have less of this after cover-up, less of this before cover-up. We obviously need to look at the police policy, the general orders, and their training, and we need to fix it. And here's what we need to do. We need to have a protection of life clause. We need to have de-escalation, real de-escalation, not just words, and they need to be held accountable when they escalate. This Alex Gonzalez thing was a clear escalation. Gutierrez shot him in the head, and he couldn't respond to commands, and then they said he wasn't complying with commands, and so they killed him for not complying with commands. You see how that works? You see how that worked by the numbers? Shoot him in the head, give him a traumatic head injury, got blood running down his face, can't hear you probably, can't think straight because he's trying to figure out what's wrong with him, why he can't function, can't even walk, has to keep pushing himself up on his car and all that, trying to get to his infant, like he's just into like father mode, just parental mode, just take care of the little kid, take care of the infant in the back seat, and the cops blast him 10 more times and kill him. They blast the girlfriend. I guess the kid didn't get shot, but man, the kid came close to getting shot by the police, and they would have justified that, saying they feared for their life from the kid too. And they can do that. They can totally lie and get away with their perception lies, get away with their fear for their life lies. They're not fear for their life, other than they're trained to say that. What they're in fear for is accountability. So they have to say the right things. There's Austin City Hall here, where they have protests and where all the murder by numbers happens right here. Murder by numbers, 1, 2, 3. It's as easy as doing your ABCs. That's from the Police and Sting. It's an old song. That's where I get I think there've been some books and movies called Murder by Numbers. It's a thing. You know, it's usually murder by numbers means you figured out the plan to get away with murder, and you planned it out really well. And that's what we have here, is we have a system where the police in Austin, and probably in your town, if you're not in Austin, their police are trained to do a certain and say a certain thing, and if they can just, you know, they're trained to start shooting, to shoot first. They're trained to shoot within seconds, and that's exactly what these cops did. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. And then Lizzardo has a history. There's a history now. I'm hearing from the grapevine, y'all, that he's been stalking women in Austin, that he's been involved in murder. If this isn't the murder, he's been involved in something else then, but he's been involved in murder, definitely in this case and possibly in another case. So yeah, we got some issues here, and we need to handle them, and we need to handle them fast before somebody else dies. And I've been saying this for a while. These are issues that I've brought up for a while, and it still hadn't been handled, and we're still got blood on the streets. So what's going to happen is there's going to be retaliation by the public against the police if this continues, because it can't go on forever. Y'all got to think this through. How long do you think the APD can assassinate people of color? Shoot them in the back of the head, and then claim they had a gun and plant evidence and lie about evidence. Yeah. How long do people on the streets know? How long do you think we're going to do this? Like, as the police get more federalized and go more and more fascist and violate their oath and go start committing, they're basically already violating posse comitatus. They basically are already militarized police on our streets against civilians that aren't at war. You understand that? These are the cops that come back from Iraq and Afghanistan with PTSD and shell shock, or whatever you want to call it, and they're not properly debriefed, disengaged, so they come here and they pretend, and I've talked to these cops, they told me this, that they're trained to seek and destroy in Afghanistan, in the jungles in South America. They're trained for that, and then they become cops when they come back, and that's what they're doing. But they've changed it. They're not going after people in a foreign war or a foreign military exercise, we should say. They're going after people in a domestic. They're declaring domestic war, declaring war on the people of the homeland, mostly of people of color, but it's going to affect white people. It's going to affect this little princess right here one day. Some cop's going to shoot a family member of hers in the back of the head. This affects everybody because it's murder by the numbers. It's not written in the policy that they have to shoot black and brown people. It's not written in the policy they have to shoot homeless and disabled people and people with mental illness, but they do. But they're doing all that. And it's not written in the policy that they can't shoot you if you have blue eyes and blonde hair. If your family came over the Mayflower, your family came over here from, I don't know, Quebec. I don't freaking know. It's affecting people from Malaysia. It's affecting people from Sri Lanka. It's affecting people from the United States. It's affecting all of us because we all share rights. And so this is what I'm seeing. I have a lot more notes. I'm not really ready to share them. Maybe in a second. I don't know. I need to find a place to sit down and kind of look at the notes. But I have 50 pages of notes. You know, maybe not 50, at least 25. I got a lot of pages of notes. Of course, I write real fast, and I can't always read when I write real fast. I can't always read my handwriting already. I have very sloppy handwriting. It's because I'm so smart. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with y'all. Don't get all hurt. Don't get all hurt. I think you're smart too. You know how I know you're smart? You're sitting here on this jacked up live stream listening to what's going on in court when everyone else doesn't care. You think half the people in Austin care about what happens with their police, and if their police executed Alex Gonzalez and lied? They don't care. People don't care. They're going to work in these high rises, getting paid to hang off the side of a building, taking care of their families, and the amount of caring that they have energy for is low because they're trying to do self-care. And it's hard to do self-care when you're worried about issues of accountability, but it's also hard to really truly be self-care and protect your safety when you don't actively engage in your safety and accountability. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I was hoping I could interview Elizabeth Herrera, who's Alex Gonzalez's mom. She was here with some family and friends earlier, but as soon as Cerrato went up, she left because Cerrato fired 10 shots. 10 shots at her son. Shot him 4 or 5 times in the back. Shot him in the back of the arm also. So I don't know if that's the 5th shot or the 4th shot or the what, but they shot him in the back, or maybe in the 6th shot. I'm not sure. They shot him in the back. I mean, I don't know how many times to say that. That's the main issue, shooting people in the back, but the judge already dismissed his part of the case, so Cerrato's not involved. He's just a witness now. He's no longer being sued. It's not even a criminal thing, so he's not even being sued. So which one of these yuppies in their BMWs is going to run over me first, walking across this with this walk sign here? Yeah, find out. It's so dangerous to walk around in Austin. We don't have safety. The people coming from Cali and everywhere else don't know how to fucking drive in Texas because they're not from here, and maybe the rules aren't right. But like with all these different visitors and tourists, it's dangerous. You can be walking across a sidewalk, they'll run you over and drive off. They do hit and runs in this town, big time. They hit and run you on a motorcycle, they hit and run you on foot, they'll hit and run you on a skateboard, they'll hit and run you on a bicycle. It's just not safe in Austin to drive. There's a bunch of lawyers over there. I don't know who they are, but they're like wearing white shirts. The whole group of them, like 5 of them, they were in court today in the back. I don't know who that was. Well, not in the back, but I guess they were kind of in the front actually, but on the other side. Hey, good to see you.
What's up?
The trees. I just got out of court. I'm watching the murder trial. I mean, not a murder trial, but civil trial for a cop that murdered Alex Gonzalez. 2 weeks.
I ain't seen you in a while.
Yeah, because they're so toxic at Street Farm. I can't fuck with them. Colin. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about infiltrating their shit again because I started that, so they can't do it without me. Are they teaching people how to sue? No. I just won my lawsuit, by the way. Last week, yeah. Part of it, small part of it. But still, you know how hard it is to win. That's my civil suit. And I've won 20 cases in a row against APD on criminal.
And probably more than that.
Yeah.
That's some cooking motherfuckers.
They are. It's so sad to watch. The mom's been in there.
Cooking motherfuckers.
They are.
It's good seeing you, man.
Yeah, you too. I'm glad you're. Are you going to be mayor next? Because we fix this shit. Make you the mayor.
Fuck?
Hell yeah, mayor of Austin. Change everything.
I would if I could.
I'll give you the mayorship. I'll write it down if you need it. You too, man. Someone from Street Forum I know. Oh, selling sodas. Interesting. Water probably don't sell like sodas. But water also hydrates you and sodas don't. Sodas dehydrate. Oh. We can come into the belly of the beast over here with down in this Republic Square Park where Downtown Austin Alliance stalks the homeless. It's the belly of the damn beast. Anything can happen here. Like you saw, was it yesterday? I think that they stalked me, 2 of them. The Downtown Austin Alliance guys stalked me with their cameras and were coming up to me taking pictures. in retaliation for me being oppressed, that they would document me and harass me, but it didn't work out. It always backfires. Don't mess with the press, guys. Don't mess with citizen filmers. Don't mess with us. Yeah, I don't see any stalkers. Just one guy doing cleanup. That's good. That's good. I like to see that. I like to see people free. I hate to see people oppressed. If anyone's gonna oppress, let's oppress these rich people. Do you know what I mean? So we got these no loitering signs over these seats over here. What makes you feel like you don't belong here? Oh yeah, there's Gutierrez's legal team right there. Laird Gray, you owe me money. You owe me $1,000, and he hasn't paid yet. But it's a court order, so they're gonna pay me soon. I feel like starting my stream over, but I'm gonna try to do this, see what happens. Y'all see okay? All right, good. Get my brown hand out of the way. You know how everybody hates brown hands. Fucking Austin. No. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. It's cool. I've only been arrested a dozen times for this. Over a dozen times now, just by APD. Oh my God. Mr. Lopez. Man, it just goes on and on, y'all. I don't think I can cover all this. Man, there's just a ton of pages. Where's day 3? Where's day 3? This is day 3. Man, this thing's long. Let y'all take a look at what I'm doing here. Look at all these pages. Oh, day 3. So yeah, I got like 30 pages there at least. There's a lot. So I got here at like almost 9 a.m. It started at 8:30. Gonzalez versus Gutierrez with Honorable Judge Robert Pittman is the judge. He's the only judge in the Austin Western District Court. All the other judges are magistrates. So he's the only appointed judge, federal judge. So he's supposedly the most busy judge in the country. So witness Gutierrez began on the stand. He was telling the 911 to tell the police not the EMS not to stage. Let's see. They said they were going to stage officers, is according to Gutierrez, and he had already called for EMS, he said, but he really didn't. He just believes his code was code for it. But officers in an active incident need to clear the scene first before EMS can go, so he told the EMS to stage also, apparently. Plaintiff, let's see, on the 911 recording, you can hear him say, "Put your gun down." While he's yelling at them, he's on the phone with 911, and he's off duty, of course, and that implies Alex recently had a gun in his hand. But yeah, we're not really sure about that still. Witness on the Smith video audio, which is a witness audio from the Treetop Apartment, said, "Hands up, man." Hey, hands up, man, is what you could hear on his video, is from what Gutierrez was saying. And plaintiff lawyer said, "Why is that important for officers?" And Gutierrez says, I had not seen his hands. So I need to find out if it has a gun, if he has a gun. And the plaintiff, let's see, the info you relayed to 911, officer, you understood that it was an aggressive movement, that if there was an aggressive movement after you said these things, that would probably put Alex Gonzalez at risk being shot by other officers. And Gutierrez said, I disagree with that. And he had other disagreements, and they focused on this point for a while. Officer at the scene would be at risk, and then there was an objection by defense, and they I think they were going to reasonableness, and Gutierrez said yes sir, so apparently objection was overruled. Plaintiff says, plaintiff's attorney, when I say plaintiff, I mean plaintiff's attorney, and they have different attorneys going round robin, so it's not all just the one attorney that's listed, it's all the attorneys listed. If suspect put hands in pockets, you share the same training. So if he tried to lie about his training, say he didn't have the training, doesn't remember the training, whatever, Gutierrez did, then the plaintiff's attorney said, it was potential to be dangerous, warning sign, and he said, yes, sir. I mean, if you put your hands in your pocket after someone says that he had a gun, it's putting his life at risk. It's swatting him. They're not using the word swatting, but that's the word I'm going to use. Because when police officers do it, it's not considered swatting. It's just considered their job to swat people. It's only illegal when you do it. He's hanging out of his door. He's got a gun in his hand, is what he told 911, but he actually admitted he'd never seen a gun in his hand outside the car. So, and he said outside the vehicle, he said, no, sir. Gutierrez said he was slumped over his door. So, there's a female passenger, she's lying on the ground. And he said, you remember saying that? Yes, sir. How did you know it was a passenger? Right before her passenger door opens, she falls out of front seat, and I had heard her, is what Gutierrez says. So there was an objection to hearsay statements on the video that they played after this. Judge instructed the jury to disregard those statements, and the judge said, don't take any statements on this audio video clip as true or factual because they're hearsay. But there was multiple clips going at the same time because of that composite video. Road rage that had been synced up with several sources. The road rage incident, 911 road rage, he says there's a road rage incident, and he was asked, was there any actual road rage with Gonzalez? And he said, no, sir. So he told 911 there was a road rage incident, but then he said that there was no road rage. And so on an ordinary person call, road rage as a reason, I think. He denies saying the driver blocked his turning into apartment and into his, his turning into apartment and blocked his door. Nothing happened in intersection that led to Alex pulling upon him, and he said no. Gutierrez said no. Plaintiff's attorney said that, I said that it sounds scripted. It sounds like this is a scripted response. And then Gutierrez says, that's the only word that came up to me, is road rage. But didn't know they were 5 feet apart. So he didn't know they're 5 feet apart. In his perception, they were right next to each other, inches away from each other, and he couldn't even get out of his door, so he needed to fire. Still talking about, Gutierrez continued talking about how he was blocked by Alex, and then the attorney said, could you have also pulled forward instead of, firing, get out of the way? And he denied it twice. Then he said, yes, sir. And then so he actually said he shot, which was a passive way of saying I shot him, because he's in denial. I don't know. It's in denial. It's the best way he knew to say it was road rage, and that there had been shots fired, but he didn't want to say who was shot, and who was shot upon, and who was injured. I could have said anything. He said I could have said anything. That was real good for the jury. They heard Gutierrez lying, and then he said I could have said anything as his excuse. You understand that? And that means he could have lied about anything because he's a cop and he lies. Those are the words I used. I thought I was gonna die. He said he thought he was gonna die. When he was the one shooting people, he thought he was gonna die. Isn't that interesting, the perception? When nobody else is fired, Alex Gonzalez never fired a shot, according to any testimony or any video. The police fired 17 shots at Alex Gonzalez. He never fired a shot. They say they saw a gun to cover for themselves. They could have said anything to dispatch or in the report. They deny everything they did, and then they say they thought they were going to die. They were the ones that are going to die. And that's the way they're trained, apparently, is to fear for their lives from everybody, from all citizens, and to kill people. I mean, it's pretty clear. I don't know how much more clear I can get. It said, so the 911 call, or the video 911, whatever, it said, Austin police, put your gun down. And then this is item number 6 of their facts thing, I think. And he said, yes, sir. 911, she's on the ground. And he shot 8, he thought, times, and he didn't know he had shot her. He shot the female. He said, Gutierrez said, I didn't see any injuries. I'm not thinking at this point. I'm talking to 2 or 3 different people. I have too many things going on to be careful with my words, he said. He has too many things going on, be careful with his words. After 8 months of training, he still doesn't know how to handle a firearm, a use of force incident, and be honest and complete with his words so that he doesn't swat somebody or get someone killed on accident, which would protect the public, which is what they claim to be doing. They're protecting the public. So 2 facts he had shot. 2 facts he omitted was he had been the one that shot. He has a gun in his hand, and she's been shot. So, yeah. Anyway, so mainly the 2 facts that he omitted was that he had been the one that shot, and then that he had shot the female and the male in this incident. Gutierrez says, I was still scared of dying. I was still scared of being shot, is what he said. Even after he shot Gonzalez in the head. Gutierrez said, I don't have the capacity to think about legal ramifications 4 or 5 years down the road. I believe I'd already relayed that information. I had shots fired, and I said there's a male victim. I don't know if there's a female that's been shot. That's what he said, but he didn't say that. I'm just trying to survive. So he's in survival mode, shooting people around him. He didn't even aim his shots properly, and he shot the people in the backdrop that he didn't even see. That's a violation of policy. Even though they have murder by the numbers, they're supposed to check their backdrop. But then you rely on other policy that says that they can shoot. So like the policy does not preserve life, and that's the main problem. The training does not preserve life. And in fact, they're both they're treasonous. They're violations of the law, of our civil rights. You have familiarity with 911 calls and such. Yes, sir. I knew that. I'm not oblivious to this, is what Gutierrez said. So talking about the language of shots fired, and there's an argument as what shot fired means. It means incoming, or that the officer is shot. And so he's trying to say that he already informed them of him shooting people, but it wasn't clear to the officers that came in, and Lizzardo admitted that on the stand just now. So he swatted him. Plaintiff asked to look at plaintiff asked him to look at the jury and tell them what the words that he used to 911. An officer would reasonably infer that you know, that there was a gun and that they were in danger. He says, I don't know that Alex had a gun. He didn't know. I don't know is what Gutierrez said. 911, you know, or no, I think he told 911, I don't know if Alex had a gun. 911 call, you know that you shot him in the head. I didn't know, I saw blood. All I saw was blood, maybe in his face. I didn't know. He believed. I wasn't certain. I can't read my own stuff. There are mental differences from shot in head, possibly. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. The police trained on head trauma, correct? He said, yes, sir. The severity of bullet scratch to the head could cause problems. Yes, sir. She's lying on the ground saying, my baby, my baby, my baby. You can hear it in the video. He's got blood on his face. Not sure if he's still got a gun, is what he told 911. So at this point, the jury's really intent and upset. The females and males have their hands on their head and face. One male has his hands on his head and elbows out. So they're intent. And the male seems to be kind of relaxed, but also intent. Plaintiff would officer be more cautious if he would have told 911 there was a baby and objected to speculation. The judge said, something about restating the question or something, answer the question. And 911, put your gun down now. Yes, sir, he said that on 911. Number 6, don't reach in your pocket. Police officers are trained. How am I doing here? We're doing far. How are we doing here? Okay, good. Police officers are trained to be scared and react when a suspect reaches into their pocket. Yes, and Gutierrez says yes, anywhere there might be a weapon. So they're trained to be scared, they're trained to fire. Plaintiff says pockets for normal people versus suspects. Like, would you be wary of me if I put my hands in my pockets right now? It said, if there's a suspicious person walking in a parking lot, yes, sir. So you put your hands in your pockets, or your hands up, or put your hands up. Your hands up is what he yelled at him, while maintaining cover behind his police door. He said, was he police trained to do that? He said, yes, sir. 9:24 p.m. now. Bad cop lawyer for Taylor walks in. Yeah, that's I think it was him. I'm not sure. Anyways, for Christopher Taylor trial. Some of my notes. They don't have to mean anything to you. They are concerned about his hands. Did you tell officer that Alex was suffering from traumatic head injury? Gutierrez says he was stepping back in sigh of relief as trained. The other officers are now in charge of the incident. Not having to take control of the situation anymore. He can sigh. The threat that's still there at that time, though, but he's still taking it. So he ends up backing up. Civilians have to comply with verbal commands of police officers. And he says, yes, sir, that's true. And communicate. Did you communicate a head injury that might prevent him from complying? He said, I was still trying to process all the thoughts in my head. Gutierrez says, I don't agree with that statement. I don't recall what all was relayed. So he's trying to say he didn't relay anything. Blow. I don't know, I can't read that. Relayed that he had a gun, yes, sir. But not the head injury, traumatic head injury. I'm still scared at this point. I'm still in fear for my life. You hear this? I'm still scared at this point. I'm still in fear for my life. Hindsight is 2020. I'm still fear for my life at this point. Hindsight is 2020. It's important whether what to say. It's not important. Okay, I don't know what the hell. Turned your back on Alex? Yes, sir. So he turned his back on Alex, but he's still saying he was in fear for his life. He turned his back on Alex Gonzalez several times as he was walking around in his gym shorts and in a little t-shirt. I'm a human. I do make mistakes, is what he said. I'm a human. And then he said later, off duty at the time, trying to fall back because there was other officers that arrived, so he was off duty and he was not in control of the scene anymore because that's how they're trained. Still fall back on training, yes sir. Muscle memory, yes sir. So they train them over and over so they have muscle memory and they want to think when things are escalating and unfolding quickly, rapidly escalating, whatever. They're supposed to rely on their muscle memory and their training. And he said, yes sir. And he says, I'm human, I make mistakes. Again, he said, plaintiff says, so you're not in fear for your life? He says, I disagree. And Gutierrez says, I'm well trained, I make mistakes. Well-trained people make mistakes. I'm not a robot, I make mistakes. You hear this stuff? He says, I'm not a robot, I make mistakes. I made a mistake when I turned my back on him. The body-worn camera for Lizzardo, you can look at your facial expressions walking back away from Alex. What was going through your mind as he said, put your hands up, yelling at Alex. Gutierrez walking, but back and then forward in gym gear. I gotta correct that. I'll never get that right. In gym gear, no uniform or bulletproof vest, and he's got a gun in the front seat. Said yes. Doesn't know if Alex was reaching into car or not. They say manos arribas, means get your hands up. And I think that was Lizzardo that said that. And so as Alex reaches and says it's got a, I don't know. He said he's got a gun in the car. Okay, no, it doesn't mean that to shoot. So he's saying that like the things he said don't mean to shoot. But they do mean to shoot to other officers, or that's code to shoot and get rid of his problem. That was covered later. It doesn't, you don't agree that it's if there's a substantial risk of officers would fire because you said those things and omitted those things, and they say stop also alto. It says yes sir. Walk away from the car, walk behind Lizzardo's vehicle. Yes sir, he saw himself do that. I felt the adrenaline and relief of stress from my body. Slowly walk back. Yes sir. Gutierrez, weight off my shoulders of everything that just happened, still in potential line of fire. I screwed up and I did not remove myself from the situation. I believe so. Not sure. The weight of the shooting someone, a very serious thing, and it takes more than 30 seconds to recover, is what he says. 4 years later, it's still not an easy thing to process, is what Gutierrez is saying. He murders somebody, and he's having problems processing, but he doesn't have, like a sociopath, he doesn't have any feelings towards the family and the people that he shot. Or even the infant that's going to have trauma. She heard 17 gunshots. She'll be raised to know her son was shot by Lizzardo and Gutierrez, and she's going to hate the police for that forever. So this is how it begins. I don't know what was going through my mind, he says. He doesn't know at this point what was even going through his mind as he was walking around. Yikes, I got too much here. He said, do you think that you feel that it would help you if the other officers would fire on him? And Gutierrez says, no, sir. I never cussed at the guy. I never yelled at the guy. I didn't have anything against the guy. And the lawyer said, you just shot a guy. It wouldn't help you if the officers would finish him off. And he said, I deny that 100%. What Gutierrez said. So yeah. So he said, are you familiar with verbal staging? Absolutely not. And I did not have anything to do with that. Which is, people in the room started coughing, so I believe that was a bullshit detector when he said that he didn't believe about verbal staging. That's when you say, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. He definitely was involved with verbal staging, and he told people to stage and not to stage. So, yeah, that was important. What did you mean by the inference? I don't know. I was still processing. I was still pacing. Do you recall the second set of shots? Yes, sir. Do you recall other stuff? Yes. Your body had no physical reaction? Yes, sir. You were not shocked or surprised by the second set of shots? I was not anticipating. I'm still trying to process it. Something you see on, it's like something you see on TV. Your emotional reactions inside, relieved, processing. I don't know what was going on inside. It almost seems I was kind of shell-shocked, fearful of another person to be armed with a gun. I don't know. All right, so then they have a sidebar because there's extensive firearms training at APD. They get into that. And then there's a 10-minute video with APD Training Academy firearms training. And I put WTF there. Oh my God, the way they train people to walk up and shoot people, the way that they train people with these weapons, and they put out thousands of rounds of ammunition, and there's no field training. It's just a target and you. And at one point, they walk up to the target right in front of it, you pull your gun under your armpit and start shooting. And it's a 40 cal. So yeah, it was pretty intense, and it pretty much showed that they don't have any respect for the public. Well, that's it for now. There's a whole lot more, as you know. I don't know if I'm going to publish it online. I'm not sure how I'm going to get through all this information. That's what happens when you write information. Man, it's some kind of trial this week. Some kind. What we got in the chat here? I see y'all in the chat. Hello, and papers, and peeps. I'm peeps. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. I'll see y'all later.